Overnight, Israeli forces launching an hours-long ground raid into Gaza, striking Hamas terror targets. It comes as the IDF reveals at least 224 victims, including those believed to be. Americans are now being held hostage, so that number has gone up, being held by the terrorists. IDF spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner joins us now from Israel with an update. Lieutenant Colonel, thanks so much for joining the program. Can you tell us about this targeted attack that you guys were doing? And what was the purpose of that attack? Good morning to you all. I just want to say, watching the dramatic images coming out on your side of the ocean in Maine, our hearts with you in these times. We are currently in day 20 of our Operation 2 against Hamas. And indeed, overnight, we conducted a clear and sweep operation intended to strike and target Hamas anti-tank capabilities in the perimeter of the fence, but also going a bit further deeper. I say that the extent of the operation was to destroy and target assets of Hamas in the surrounding areas, things that could potentially impede on a ground operation, if that indeed develops and happens. So these are the type of operations that we've conducted on a smaller scale in the recent days. But last night it was much more substantial, and indeed we took out anti-tank squad in an engagement with our forces, and also took down observation positions, anti-operating in order to try and seek out mining or dealing with explosive devices that potentially could threaten ground forces activities, and also different types of other capabilities like the observation points, so that Hamas will not feel safe. They will be pursued when we mobilize. If we mobilize, are y'all going to be able to find out? Because I know that the hostage number has gone up to 224 now. Can you explain why that is, and how? On the other side, in Gaza, the hostage situation is a grave situation, and there is constant more intelligence coming in. Hamas is a diabolical organization that has taken so many people into Gaza, and indeed some of those operations that we were conducting near the fence was in order to pick up bodies that they had dropped on the way. So we were actually seeing intelligence coming in, and then cross-referencing it with different information from elsewhere, so that number is still flexible. We still have about 100 people that are unaccounted for, so that number could actually go up even more. The operations, the military operations, diplomatic operations are ongoing. I'd prefer not to delve into specific details, despite the fact that you're interested in it, obviously because of the operational concerns, and I think we need to leave it at that. I would say, 224, the families of 224 people have been torn to pieces over the last 20 days. We need to bring them home as soon as possible. They're the top of our operational priority, and the efforts to bring them home are ongoing. Colonel, I was reading this morning in the Times of Israel that one of your IDF units, Unit 504, which is a military intel unit, apparently has been calling people in northern Gaza saying, "Get out, it's not safe for you there." But apparently, and you have released some audio that shows that apparently people who are trying to leave essentially they're blocking the roads. Hamas is blocking the roads, and in some cases shooting at people. So it's like, we want to go south, but we can't because we don't want to get shot. So this is the diabolical of this terrible, terrorist government has control over the Gaza Strip. They have no regard for human life, Israeli or Palestinian. We're trying to evacuate people from harm's way. They're trying to keep them in harm's way. We're trying to make sure that they go south. They're trying to prevent that. And indeed, the intelligence interception and the conversations that we're having with people on the ground are definitely they concerning, but we are still seeing a huge mass movement of people towards south, because people realize we mean business, and Hamas only means bad business. So people are listening to us. They are going south in order to enable us to continue to pursue Hamas wherever they're hiding, and specifically in the north, all right? The Wall Street Journal has reported that Israel has agreed to a U.S. request to delay the invasion, so we can get our missile defense in Iraq and Syria, and some of our ships reloaded. Would you confirm or deny that our operation is dependent on two components? First of all, the government decision the government needs to instruct us to mobilize. Indeed, we heard Prime Minister Nani yesterday when he addressed the Israeli public, and he said he's working in order to gain that consensus in his government, and from our perspective, that is only one condition. The second condition, of course, would be the optimal operational conditions for the IDF were not in a rush. We realize this is a long battle ahead of us, and therefore we're taking our time every day that goes by. We are more professional, better prepared, better equipped, and the tasks. The specific tasks of the individual units are more clear in how they fit together in the broader picture, the broader puzzle of dismantling Hamas. So while there's ongoing debates and discussions on the diplomatic level, our role is to be prepared to move in when those two conditions are met. Okay, Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner? Thank you so much for joining us.